Shalom, this week's Sedra's Chayai. When you were dating, or as you are dating, or if you will be dating in the future, what are the absolute deal breakers of any relationship for you? I'm not talking about preferences of restaurants or favorite musicians. I'm asking about getting up from the table, walking away deal breakers. What about deal breakers for your children's future spouses? What would it take for you to tell your child, I don't care how much you love them, I cannot allow you to marry that person? Well, in this week's Torah portion, we find Avraham instructing his servant Eliezer to travel out of Eretz Yisrael and find a wife for his son Yitzchak. He gives him very specific instructions, including the one factor that is a walk-away deal breaker. We study the following instructions from Avraham to Eliezer in this week's Torah portion. Hashem, the God of heaven, who took me from my father's house and away from my native land, who promised me on oath, saying, I will assign this land to your offspring. Will I send a messenger before you, and you will get a wife for my son from there? Now, if the woman does not consent to follow you, you shall then be clear of this oath to me, but do not take my son back there. It's interesting that Avram doesn't instruct Eliezer to do if the woman won't agree to marry Yitzchak, as if that wasn't even a possibility, but only what to do in the case the woman would refuse to return to Eretz Yisrael. In case she'd agree to the marriage, but not coming to Eretz Yisrael, Eliezer should forget her, consider himself exempt from his mission to find a wife for Yitzchak. In his commentary to this interesting deal breaker, Cheskuni explained that Avram told Eliezer, don't take my son back there, meaning Avram said he did not want his son to leave the ancestral land God had promised him. In the book The Kuzari, the author explained the uniqueness of Eretz Yisrael. No other place other than Eretz Yisrael would share the distinction of the divine influence of Hashgacha. The Rashba offered another reason why Eretz Yisrael was so unique. So the sages taught Eretz Yisrael is watered by God himself, and the rest of the entire world is watered through an intermediary. In his commentary to this teaching, Rashba wrote, since the Jewish people are the chosen people, and Eretz Yisrael is the chosen land of God, he is not going to leave the people or the land to an angel, as God did for other nations of the world. Rather, God's quote-unquote eyes are on the land, and all that occurs in the land occurs under God's providence. According to the Rashba, Eretz Yisrael is made unique by God's specific providence on the land. Rambam codified as a Jewish prohibition about those living in Eretz Yisrael from leaving. It is forbidden, he wrote, to leave Eretz Yisrael for the diaspora at all times except to study Torah, to marry, or to save one's property from the Gentiles. After accomplishing these objectives, he then has to return to Eretz Yisrael. Similarly, the Rambam wrote, one may leave Eretz Yisrael to conduct commercial enterprises. However, it's forbidden to leave with the intent of settling permanently in the diaspora. Though it is permitted to leave Eretz Yisrael under these circumstances, it is not pious behavior, he wrote. Eretz Yisrael is such a unique and sacred place, Jews aren't supposed to leave it. Instead, they are to cherish the land, live in it. It is to be a treasure that is guarded and settled by the Jewish people. Avram's deal breaker for his son Yitzchak's future spouse was that she had to agree to live in Eretz Yisrael. Powerful message. Shabbat Shalom.